my magical friends, and welcome back to my channel, and hello if you are new. In today's video, we're doing something super fun. If you haven't seen, I did a Harry Potter Christmas tree a few weeks ago, and I want to make little presents to go underneath the tree. Now, these aren't just any presents. I'm going to be adding little touches of magic here and there. You can totally do this your own way, but I thought it would be fun to do this with you guys. But if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so we can make more magical videos and you can become a part of my magical friends. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the magic. Yes, I have everything here that I'm going to be using to make these presents. Now, I did want to note, I was going to get like an owl post stamp and some special to and from stickers, but they weren't going to be here in time and I got a little impatient. So that's that. But I'm going to do it this way for this year, and then maybe next year I can always just add it to these same packages and it'll be just fine. So for this year, I'm going to be using scissors. I'm going to use twine to wrap around the presents, and then I'm going to be using my wax seal kit. Now, if you haven't seen me, I've used this before. This is a wax seal kit off of Amazon. Here's what it looks like. It works perfect for what I need, and on top of that, it has a wax seal that's Hogwarts, so it makes it a little bit more magical. A lighter to light the wax. Brown paper to put around the presents, and then I'm going to be using 3 boxes for the presents. I've got 2 smaller ones, and then let's see if I can pick this up. I've got 1 bigger one. These are just boxes that stuff has been shipped to my house in, and I'm going to be using those and making those work. First, I'm going to wrap all 3 of these boxes in this brown wrapping paper. So let me just go ahead and clear off this space and we can get going. So I cleared off my space, and I forgot to say that I also needed tape. I did pre-tape these packages with like thicker tape, like packaging tape, before I started the video, so I figured I wouldn't need to do that then. Then I went and did some digging, and I found some other little like ribbon, and this one has gold sparkles, but it doesn't have very much, so I thought I might be able to do something with that. I found a tag that says special delivery, and then I found a little bell. So we might add these in, we'll see what happens, but let's go ahead and get started. So first, I'm gonna just take and move this aside, and I'm going to roll out this big old roll of paper. Now, if you don't have a roll like this, I completely understand. I just have this because wrapping other stuff, but if you go to like Target or maybe even like a TJ Maxx, you may be able to find just standard brown wrapping paper. And please note, I am not the best Christmas present wrapper. I am absolutely horrible. My skills have definitely gotten better throughout the years, but I'm still not your tip-top present wrapper. So we're gonna just have fun with this, and we'll see how it goes, because it's all about just having fun around the holidays. So let's just take this and bring it over and add some tape. See, told you guys I'm not a good wrapper. I am absolutely terrible. You know those people that like have all these beautifully wrapped presents and they've got the bows and everything? That's not me. Are you a good present wrapper? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know. I always laugh at myself because I'm just not very good at it. Now I'm gonna just take and cut this like so. And, oh, I actually have enough. So now I need tape. Close up this side. And then, let's see if we can make this work. I don't know. We might have to cut it, we might not. We might not have to cut it. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, so there's one side. I'm actually surprising myself because from what I can see, this isn't looking too bad, except my tape come undone. Let me just get this side done, and And then, oh, see, I told you guys about this. At least I laugh at myself. One year, I gave my mom like one of those shower racks for Christmas. And oh, you guys, you should have seen the way that was wrapped. I think I used a whole roll of wrapping paper. And then on top of that, it had a hole missing in the wrapping paper. I'm just a hot mess when it comes to wrapping. So the first side is done, but for some reason my tape is coming undone on the top. I think I'm gonna add a bit more tape because I don't want nobody peeking underneath my tree. All right, there we go. So now I'm gonna do this side and close up this side. I was looking online, and where I found all those really cool stamps and stuff was on Etsy. Just none of them were gonna be here in time, and I wanted to get these wrapped and done so that way they were under my tree a little while before Christmas. But as I said, maybe next year I'll order them and put them on there then. Until then, this will work. It's not like you're gonna see it too much. There's not a whole lot of space underneath my tree. But I wanted to do this because I thought that they were super cute underneath the tree. And I see people putting them in their collection now, and they're so pretty. First one is done. It might not be it's actually, this is not bad for me, I have to say. This is actually an improvement from my previous wrapping skills. Let me go ahead and grab another one of those boxes and we will wrap. Next up, I'm gonna do this guy. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just unroll the paper a good amount. I don't think I'm gonna need as much for these because they're not nowhere near as big, but let's just kinda do this. Only an owl was really here to wrap these. That would be amazing, right? Oh, see, just like that. It's a hair too short. I'm gonna redo it. Let's try this again. Okay, now we're talking. So I'm gonna just do the same thing I did with the other one. Wrap it on up. I think with this one, I'm going to have to cut a little bit off the sides because it's not as big. So there's gonna be a lot of access. So I'm gonna just cut a bit off of here because I think that would have been a little bit too much. So I think that might be still a little bit too much. I'm the type of wrapper that would like to cut more as I go. Less is more, I guess, type of thing. I don't know. I don't want to cut it all off because then there's going to be nothing left. I've done that before. I've just had all the wrapping experiences, so let's just try and hope for the better. So I think this will work. I'm going to triangle off these edges and pull it as snug as I can. I feel like my packaging is not Hedwig's type of packaging. I feel like it's more of the Weasley's owl. Yeah. It's totally okay. I'm all aware that I'm not there, but the second one. Let me grab the third box and I will be back to wrap that. Got my third box. I've unwrapped the paper a little bit, so I'm gonna place this down and see what I can do here with this one. I feel I can cut this off. feel like I should invest in one of those. Have you ever seen those wrapping paper cutters? It would probably make this a tad bit easier. Alright, so I have this side done. I'm gonna have to do the same thing as I did that last one. Cut a little bit off each side because it's a tad bit too long. So let me just go ahead and do that. I feel like the better scissors you have for wrapping paper, the better off you are. I mean, I couldn't imagine using like kid scissors or something for this because it would probably just be a hair too dull. And that might not be enough, but let's just see. I'm gonna just take a tad bit more off. I missed a piece. Alright, so let's try this again. Take it in. Fold my little triangles like so. If you guys have a Harry Potter tree at your house, what do you put underneath it as like some little decorations? I have snow blanket under mine, and this year I actually added blinking lights, like battery operated lights, fairy lights, and I love the way that it turned out. So I thought this would make it just feel a tad bit more magical. But what do you put under your Harry Potter Christmas tree? I've seen people do like Dobby. Owls would be really cute. I've seen people do all sorts of stuff. I'd love to know what you put. Let me know down in the comments. I just took a little bit more off this other side because it was a hair too long. Might still be a hair too long, but let's see. I think we might be able to make this work. So, fold this in like so, and then nice and tight over the edge. And there we go. So now that I have all 3 presents wrapped, I'm going to clean up my mess, and I'm going to bring over my wax seal kit and my twine, so that way we can get to decorating. And I've got my wax seal kit, and I did want to note, I've shared this before, but it does come with 3 different colored waxes. I've used quite a bit of red. I've made letters. I've done quite a bit with this. This actually has gone quite a long way for how much I've used it. But yeah, so I've got 3 different colors. I think I'm gonna go for the gold and the red because that's what the theme of my tree is. I don't really have a lot of silver on there. Obviously, I'm gonna need my little wax steel spoon, and then my stamp, which I already said before, but it is the Hogwarts house crest stamp, so it makes it just a tad bit more magical. And then obviously a candle to melt your wax. I'm going to place this off to the side because the more space, the better. So let me go ahead. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started. I forgot a knife to cut my wax. I will be right back. Okay, so to start off with, I'm gonna start with the red, but first I thought that I should probably cut my twine and go ahead and wrap one of these. So move those out of the way, and let's see where this starts. It's always the fun part, isn't it? Trying to figure out where this is starting right here. So it's been re-put. So I'm not gonna take too much, probably like that. And take it across. And then just tie it into a bow. I may have needed more. Let's see here. I think that'll work. I can just kind of push this twine back through maybe. Let's see. Yes, that will work. So if I push that back through, that is going to be perfect. So maybe not. I think I need a longer piece of twine because that one kind of won't stay. So I'm gonna take it a tad bit longer, and we'll say about that much. Let's see what we can do with this. There we go. Now we're talking. I guess I can just cut the extra off as I go because I think that might be just a little bit easier. So I want this to be as tight as possible because I don't want it to be moving. So there is my little bow. It might be cute to take it and go across. But let's see if I'm gonna have enough for that. I guess I could tape it. I'm gonna tape it. I got my piece of tape, and what I'm going to do is I want to take this around and just kind of like this, like knot it, like I'm gonna start to tie it, and put my tape on the back of it. So that way it creates it like this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap all the presents first and then do the wax seal part, so that way it's just kind of step by step. So the first one is done. I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I'm not going to move it too much because I don't want it to come undone. Next up, I'm going to take this big one, and I think I'm going to just do one big bow on the front of this one. So I think I'm going to need quite a bit of twine because this one's quite a bit bigger than that one. So let's go with maybe this much. And I would rather just cut the extra off and then go from there. So let's see. My twine is kind of coming undone. I've had this twine for so long. I use it for like hanging stuff around the house or whatever. But obviously if you have more twine, like twine that's not so falling apart, it might be a little better. But this one I'm gonna leave the strings just a little bit and let it look like that. Last up is this other tiny one, so I don't think I'm gonna need nowhere near as much, more along the lines of the first one. And I think I'm gonna just let that one be the only one that has two pieces of twine around it, because I don't want them to look exactly the same. It kind of would be cool. Maybe I'll go this way because I have those two going across. So this one could be a up and down one. So that way they look a tad different underneath my tree. And I think I'm gonna give this one a big bow with short little strings. All right, so all three of my presents now have their bows. I'm going to go ahead and start melting my wax down. Like I said, I'm gonna start with this red wax. So I'm gonna just cut off a good bit. If I can get it, there we go. And I'm going to start melting it. So I'm gonna melt this and I will be right back. Okay, so as you can see, this is very hot. I've got my wax melted. I'm going to try and take this special delivery one and add it into the big one with my wax. But this is gonna be a little tricky because this is so hot. So let's see how I do here. Oh, it turned out so cute. Let me show you guys. So I used the wax seal to put my special delivery on there, and I think it turned out cute with the big bow. I probably could have done this up a little higher, but I might add some tape on the back of this to keep it up like that so it's not in the way of the bow. All I'm doing is taking tape and creating those little tiny donuts and putting it on the back of my tag. And I just want this tag to be, if this tape will unstick, kind of slanted like that. So that way it's not moving all over the front of the box. So first one is done. Let me place this one over to the edge and we will get cracking on these other two. All right, next up is one of the small ones, and I think I'm gonna take red. So let's cut some of this wax, and I think I might put this up at the top of the box. So let me melt my wax and I will be back with melted wax. I've got my wax melted now. It's pretty hot again. So I'm gonna take my wax seal and I'm going to just plop this up in the top corner of this package. So drop my wax, make sure it all goes, and then just stamp it. And honestly, I'm not gonna set this down on the counter. I'm gonna set it over my kitchen sink, I think, because I've got a little wax on my counter that I have to clean off. The only thing about this wax seal kit is that it stinks. You can find a wax seal kit on Amazon that looks like the hot glue gun, except you take and put the colored wax in the hot glue gun. And I really honestly think that I might invest in that, because I'm finding myself using a wax seal kit a lot more than what I thought I was going to. So I think I might invest into that hot glue gun type style, because then you don't have to worry about it stinking. It really truly does stink up your house, and my dog's laying over there smelling it. So I think I might invest in that. I'm gonna just blow on this a little bit to allow it to cool, and then I'll be back and show you what it looks like. This one is done. I just put it up in the top corner, so that way later on, if I do get these stamps that I'm talking about, I can put them over here or just add some more to the packages as I go. But there's that. It turned out super cute, and I feel like the red makes it look like a true Hogwarts package, but I think next I'm gonna do gold. So let me go place this down, and I'm going to clean out my little spoon, and I'll be back. So I just took a paper towel and I cleaned out my spoon. You just want to make sure that you get all the wax off, because you don't want the colors to be mixing. As I said, this time around, I think I'm going to use gold wax. You can totally use whatever color you want. Say you're like Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, you could use your house color. That would be cool underneath your Christmas tree. But I'm going to add in just a pop of gold, so I'm going to cut off a little chunk and melt this down, and I'll be back to place this wax seal on this present. Okay, my last little pot of wax is now melted, and I'm going to place this right here where these two pieces of twine meet. So I'm gonna just drop it over the top of there and press it. This wax gets extremely hot. Look at that. It's just like smoking. It's so stinky. I'm gonna place that over on top of that napkin. Just press it down real good, and hopefully this wax stops, and I hope it's not in the front of the camera. I've noticed that I do have to kind of blow around the edges of the wax to make it not separate from the paper, so that way it doesn't rip the paper off, but because the wax seal doesn't really dry all the way, so I just kind of take it and blow around the edges. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll be back with the finished reveal. Last but not least, here is our third little present. The gold is not as noticeable as the red, but it still does complement it quite nice. It's very Hogwarts. There's lots of gold around Christmas time, so the gold looks nice. Let me go grab the other two, and I can show you guys the final product of my Harry Potter inspired presents for underneath my Christmas tree. Well, here you have it. Here is my finished product of my Harry Potter inspired Christmas presents. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm actually quite pleased with the way that these turned out. I'm gonna do a little video and insert it here so you guys can see what they look like underneath my Harry Potter Christmas tree. I think that they're gonna look so cute, and I cannot wait for the holidays. And let me know if you end up making these. Tag me over on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram handle in this corner. I'd love to see what yours turned out. Everybody's turns out different, and that is what I'm all about. Love seeing people's creativity. So let me know if you end up making presents like this in the comments, or like I said, over on my Instagram. You can tag me, DM me. I want to see them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, getting ready for the holidays, and just kind of bringing a little bit more cheer and fun into the holiday season. But as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications so you know when I upload, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one.